Welcome back to Fighters Drinking Coffee. Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. CJI is fresh on the mind. We had some stuff going on. We are recording Sunday, so we will be referring to the things that have happened on the first day of CJI, but some stuff went down that kind of brings up some questions and about just kind of there's some stuff within jiu-jitsu that a little bit of controversy, a little bit of some rumblings within the community just around this event that I think are probably worth discussing. Some we kind of already touched on in a previous episode, some that we alluded to in a previous episode. I have some reactions as well.
The reactions
to the Mighty cast, because they touched on a lot of stuff they discussed a lot of things that we were talking about on a previous episode as well, when we were discussing exclusivity contracts and things like that. So they, Mikey and Craig Jones, both were talking about their takes on exclusive contracts, benefits, downfalls, and a lot of it actually kind of shed some new light on the conversation we were having about it. So I think it's worth discussing. I know you said you hadn't listened to the whole thing.
Why don't you summarize what happened?
I'll get to that. But so they met up on Demetrius Johnson's podcast, the Mighty Cast, and they had a little bit of debate. Craig Jones was trying to get Mikey drunk, make him vulnerable, as he said. So first on that, every time that Mikey interrupted, he had to do a shot of tequila.
I like that.
He only did 3. He actually did a pretty good job.
Because he does 3 shots?
He did like 3 shots throughout the episode.
All right.
It was like almost 2 hours long though, so not too bad.
I mean,
it's a lot for he's a little guy.
Yeah, I don't know how often that little fella drinks though. He might not be a big drinker.
True. Probably not. Didn't seem like it. He's
a clean cut kid, like eats his pasta, trains.
It was 10 a.m. apparently.
Nuh-uh. Sick.
All
right. That sounds kind of fun.
So respect.
Yeah, respect.
This is what Dimitri wanted when he was here, apparently. Just kidding, Dimitri. We know you were...
He's more of a whiskey guy.
You want to do whiskey, and you want it to be at a reasonable hour, not at 10 a.m. Not
like some.
I'm not gonna build some image of degeneracy around him.
Yeah.
Which do check out Copa, because that will be on Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the big point of the discussion was exclusivity contracts, because it affected a lot of this year's CJI. And so it's actually a pretty good lead-in point for the rest of it, because there's talent that is coming from one. There's talent that's coming from who's number one, and other organizations that actually do have exclusivity, but they're allowing their athletes to compete in CJI because they know that CJI is not a competitor, right? Like it is a one-off event. It's a one-off event. So they are acknowledging that, hey, this is a one-off event. This is a good opportunity for creating these matchups that otherwise won't happen, because with the nature of their contracts, it allows people to see the matchups or gives people the potential to see matchups they want to see, right? And Craig alluded to there having been the potential for that initially from the UFC with everything that was being built there for UFC BJJ. He also alluded to them not actually wanting to grow the sport just to make money off the sport and not really caring about the sport, which, whatever, it's a business, makes sense. Because he originally was in discussions to run.
That might be a hostile take.
There's a little bit, yeah.
I find it hard to believe that someone you can't you have to grow the sport to also make growth and money are related. So
well, I guess
I get there may be a little bit of bad blood there, but
they're not. I guess he was trying to say that they're not necessarily interested in making the best matchups. They're
Okay.
interested in just building their brand within the sport and making money off. Does you know what I mean?
I do, and maybe Mike. Sorry to cut you off on all this, man. It's my initial take on that.
You'd be doing shots right now.
Don't you dare! I did have some whiskey last night watching CGI night 1.
I would have been asleep so
I had
much
a
earlier
little
if I
bit
had
of
some
whiskey,
whiskey.
not a ton,
I was
but-
so tired.
But yeah, dude, you're right. I would have a shot if that were under the Mighty Mouse rules. But yeah, dude, like I still maintain that, or at least my initial stance is that like UFC getting in on this it's gonna help. It's gonna grow. I understand that Craig might have a bit of a
there's
different
definitely
reaction to it.
There's
Totally.
definitely bad blood. For
Yeah,
what he was talking
understandable.
about,
It's
so.
I mean, like in the last like week, dude, Gable had to back out or whatever. Like, I understand he's salty about it, and it makes sense. But I taking a step back, obviously not having any dog in the fight either, just looking at it objectively, I just can't see how the UFC getting in here is not going to grow things. And yes, it does. Like with some of the exclusivity that I think you're going to expand on here, like it could limit some of the matchups because of that. But also, like if they have the purse to start throwing money at other people, they'll just start buying the matchups, which can be a little bit perhaps daunting to others who are looking at that and saying, crap, how's that going to impact me? If they're not doing some reciprocity or whatever, I don't know what to call it, when they allow their guys, UFC, to do things like CGI. And who knows, maybe that'll change in the future years as well if Craig keeps doing this on a yearly basis, since it's once a year. So, but I still am like, yo, man, I think it's a kind of a gut reaction to say the UFC is going to be, how's that going to be bad?
Yeah, I don't see it being bad for the sport overall. I do think it will, because we know that there's lockdown from it, and obviously there was all the talk about the rule set, whatever. We'll throw that out.
Yeah, we'll get
I'm not gonna worry about that, because there's a whole argument about how a lot, with the exception of, because Craig's arguing that they stole it all from him.
What's he arguing they stole?
The rule set and the pit, but Mikey made really good points that rule set actually existed in one of the Fight Pass Invitationals, albeit 4 minutes instead of 5.
Okay.
The 10-point must.
Okay.
And I think
also the UFC's been doing that for a minute, by the way. Dude.
Yeah,
I feel like it's difficult to define that intellectual property is yours. Brother.
I
like Craig Jones, and I want him to win. But
I have a feeling that him claiming that is a little bit of is him kind of trolling, because there's no way I don't think he actually believes he invented the 10-point must system in 3 5-minute rounds.
It's also to tell the UFC, hey man, I can't believe you all took the 10-point must, and they're like, wait a minute.
I think
if you watch UFC like ever, like it's
no, seeing his other stuff, like there's probably a little bit of trolling going on with
He's
that.
A funny guy,
because it's kind of his MO, right?
Yeah.
But then the pit, and Mikey made a good point that the pit was something that he adapted from Karate Combat, right? So he's a licensee of the pit.
Okay.
But so that whole part, whatever, wash that out, doesn't matter. But actually, Mikey also kind of gave an air of some skepticism when it came to the exclusivity, which I found very interesting. It was a lot of if statements from him regarding, if the UFC follows through, if the UFC provides everything they promised me, if a lot of that was going on. And it seems like he's even giving them, he's almost running a trial period for them with his expectations and what he wants to get, which I thought that was a very interesting thing to take out of it. And it seems like a lot of it is that he thinks that if the UFC is able to, one, they haven't started doing any of the drug testing yet, which was one of his big sells, one of Mikey's big sells. So, but she says he would personally go around and collect the piss samples, which is hilarious. Yeah. But he said they have not yet followed through on the drug testing, which is interesting. But he expects it in the future. A big thing for him was the brand growing potential with the UFC, which Mighty Mouse had some takes on, which Mighty Mouse had inputs on, because Mighty Mouse he was part of the UFC.
100%. Yeah, he's a champion for years.
So I'll pivot to that in a second after listing this stuff. But the brand building potential of the UFC was a big draw for Mikey. And he thinks that if they're able to follow through on all these things, that it will open the avenue to actually get the matchups, to guarantee them. He also thinks the exclusivity is good because it does guarantee that you will be given, X number of matches at X rate versus having to go in, like what we do, where we have to go and just find things. We have to find opportunities as they pop up. And so it gives more of a guaranteed outlet and way to generate income within the sport, which are all relatively valid points. But he's still conveying all of these as if statements versus these are the things we are going to be doing with UFC. It's if the UFC is able to do this, then he will stick with them, and he would hope that, Craig Jones would be supportive and say, hey, you know what? They followed through on their part. Great job, guys. And if not, Mikey would come out and say, hey, Craig, you were right. So like there's still a little bit of uncertainty in that. And Mighty Mouse had pretty good takes on it, having been, you could almost say a victim of the UFC's almost a victim of like the UFC's favoritism and ways that they how they prefer to push fighters, because they're not necessarily looking for the best guys. They're looking for the most marketable, which is business. Makes sense. But DJ was talking about all these opportunities that, hey, you're the promoter. You're supposed to be promoting their fighters, and like having spent 3-4 hours filming, promotional content that gets scrapped because somebody else that they decide is worth the push more to scrap Mighty Mouse's stuff to push this other stuff, specifically John Jones stuff.
His take. So what he's saying is like, I'm also doing this from his experience, which he's certainly got a lot to talk about there. He did all this promotional work with them. And I'm sure that they probably had in contracts like, hey, you need to come in and do like whatever. It's part of the gig when you're at the UFC. He would go do it, and then they just wouldn't do it. They wouldn't deploy it. They wouldn't use it. Yeah. They would go out and they'd promote John or whoever.
So like
someone else I assume they think is more marketable, more sellable for, at the end of the day, bottom line, like we're going to sell whatever event's coming up here.
Yeah.
We have people only have so much attention. Like we're going to show a 90-minute like UFC promotional countdown video, and we'll do 5 on Mighty Mouse in like an hour. Something like that.
In this case, it seems like they did 0.
Got it.
I think it was one of the Mighty Mouse Cejudo fights that he was talking about. And like, and then to throw the guy away because he's not marketable when he feels that they weren't holding up their end of the deal. So, he was arguing that, they might do right by you, Mikey, but they might not do right by, the other 80% of guys that end up signing with them, and then, in his words, ship them off to Asia.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, there's definitely, with what Mikey sees as the growth path, there's definitely some a lot of questionability because of some known track records of how they have not done those things for actually, in Mighty Mouse's case, successful people that
extremely successful.
If they had made the effort, would have been the marketable person that they want them to be.
Right.
They went with, especially him, right? Like super likable dude, like he's clean cut guy, doesn't get into trouble. Like if they just sold that, it's a super good role model. You start getting kids into it, right? Like, so there's definitely I think there's a lot of risk there for getting people in there, especially when, and Craig had a good point about this, they're not really like giving Mikey the best fights for Mikey. Like, they're good, they're easy, they're good matchups in his favor, but they're not the ones that he should be getting in the sense of, hey, even Craig said, I want to see you beating the best guys in the world because he truly believes that he's one of the best in the world. He should be out there competing against the best in the world. And Mikey even agreed that like because of exclusivity contracts, he's already been missing out on them. So it was very interesting to see that most of the guys in the room from a health of jiu-jitsu standpoint, kind of agreed on the fact that this is it's not necessarily the best thing. If we don't get everybody, if everybody's not able to be in the same place, you won't necessarily get those. Or if they won't play ball with each other to create these matchups, then you ended up with like multiple watered down.
I understand.
And so there's a lot of
ifs.
There's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of potential for this to not. It might grow the sport and the visibility of the sport, but it might water down the competitive aspect of the sport. You might end up with a lot of dead time where you're waiting for these really good ones, people competing against not having the best matchups, maybe burning out contracts because of it, right? And then also the potential of ending up with these guys that are paid a lot to not have the best matchups, and these guys getting paid a little bit to, go through the grueling ones and whatever. So there's just a lot of, and it's all still developing. This is very new, a lot of TBD. And who's to say that, UFC is throwing these stuff up free on YouTube right now. Who's to say that within the however long the lifespan they're giving this trial period of UFC BJJ, that they don't just scrap it? And it's because they weren't necessarily they weren't providing the product that people wanted to watch, because they're also providing a product that, like, I think Mikey's next opponent in October is Carrasco.
Who?
He's a guy. Yeah, exactly. He's a guy. He won thirds at Gi Worlds, I think he's currently ranked number 5 in Gi.
Okay.
IBJJF.
Okay.
And so
they're going to give him Mikey in a no-gi match.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is it's a mismatch.
Yeah.
And it's not the most competitive thing. And yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So you're not the people that would watch this as, without marketing, and they're not doing the best job at that either. I think, I haven't seen a lot of it.
Okay.
Maybe they are, and I'm just not.
True.
It's not in my algorithms, and it's not popping up for me.
I have a feeling they're probably not doing it.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of
that. At least.
Yeah.
That might change.
But it's just one of those things that if you're throwing, Mikey Musumeci, which people know, and then you're throwing in people that that most people haven't heard of, that's not going to interest the hardcore people. That is what initially built the UFC too, right? Like it grew into a sport that was more people outside of the sport became interested in.
Right.
And
maybe
if you don't attract the hardcore people, then you don't get the other people necessarily.
Maybe they expect the hardcores to show up either way, and they're trying to do more work for the outside people. For what it's worth.
Maybe. Yeah.
A lot of TBD, dude. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
good. Time will tell.
That's kind of the update there,
I guess it's possible that the UFC could be buying up all these assets, so to speak, and then just scrap it later too when they're like, it's not worth it. Kind of like what Demetrius was hinting at, where he's like, you can do all this work and then just choose not to do it, and like they throw it out.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a possibility.
They technically fulfill their end of the contract.
Well, they'll throw the money out. They'll fulfill contracts. I'm sure they have they got teams of lawyers. Like they know what they're doing. Like they'll
or they'll just hold them under contract
until they expire.
Scrap the events.
Yeah. So, I don't know what those contracts.
Because they do that with some of their big names. There's plenty of guys that were stuck under contract begging for them to give them a fight to get out.
I wonder if these guys get guaranteed income when they go with that though. I gotta think.
I would hope so.
I gotta think a lawyer somewhere is like, yo, like you can't just put my dude here. Tell him you're gonna give him 5 fights, give him 0 fights, and pay him $0 while he can't go anywhere else. But nonetheless, whatever. We don't.
Well, I think that was part of they just had a big settlement with that, I think.
Well, okay, there you go. So, but the point being that I don't know what it is, but nonetheless, it's a potential risk that they could just throw the whole thing out and say, this didn't do anything for us. We're done with this UFC, BJJ stuff. Or it can move forward. Some of the concerns of watering down competition could take place, right? That's one scenario that they are all talking about. Third scenario could be that they take off its success in many, 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 many ways. Because UFC does know what they're doing.
Yeah. Which I agree with.
Sure. Obviously, it's like, who knows? So tons of ifs, tons of TBDs. What else did they talk about? I mean, I know did they talk about
A lot of it was that they talked about Moneyberg.
Okay.
So that was there was a lot of questions on how much Moneyberg paid Mikey. Apparently,
is the guy's name really Moneyberg?
No, dude, it's not. His name's not. I don't even think his name's actually Derek, if I remember correctly.
He's just made up an entirely.
Yeah, just pull that up on the wiki. It's got all of it.
Is it on there?
Oh yeah, it's on his Wikipedia.
Let's see if I can find it real fast. He's got a Wikipedia page already.
Yeah, he's got a Wikipedia page.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's a made up persona, but yeah, I mean, Mikey was talking about. So Mikey only went there 3 times.
Wiki.
So he trained with Derek 3 times.
Continue. I'm going to do some research on this actual name.
But so he trained with Moneyberg 3 times. Mikey was saying that he would never give somebody who doesn't. He says that
I have his name.
He was trying. He was obviously trying. Yeah, give me the name.
All right. He's from Chicago. His name's Dale Buskowski.
It's not even close.
Polish, bro.
Dale
He's not even Jewish. It's not even. Come on, man. Come on, dude. I was into the whole rich Jewish thing, dude. That's awesome.
He's playing everyone.
Damn, dude.
But so yeah, so Dale Buskowski, that is your real name.
Whatever. But Derek Moneyberg.
Derek Moneyberg. Yeah. So Mikey
famously
trained with
known
him 3 times. They were trying to trap him and telling him how much he paid him. And Mikey didn't say no that there was extra money to wear the rash guard.
I don't begrudge Mikey going out there to get paid all,
dude.
Yeah. If Dale is hucking out cash, dude, who cares?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
whatever. Continue.
It's fine. But so he was talking about how the validity of the black belt. So Mikey would not give a black belt to someone in that short of a time, no matter what.
Okay.
Unless this person's like prodigy winning.
Not Mikey approved.
Not Mikey approved.
Okay.
So, that's
a data
out.
point.
This is already out there.
It's a data point. That's out there.
It seemed like he was, he said you'd have to ask the guys that gave it to him why they gave it to him. Which I believe was Jake Shields and Hoist Gracie and those guys. But yeah, he was like, yeah, from the way that I've seen the same footage as you guys, from the way that he moves, you wouldn't say that's a black belt, but the dude definitely has absorbed enough knowledge like a black belt, like whatever. So that was basically, he studied a lot of jiu-jitsu is what Mikey said, but he's not necessarily executing it the same way that you might expect a black belt to. That was what I gathered from what Mikey said.
Okay.
Also, Craig alluded that Derek Moneyberg is one of the investors in CJI. I think the first one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Craig isn't on the worst of terms with this guy.
No, it doesn't seem like he is. I think he just likes to give people shit.
That is what he does.
Okay. But yeah, so he bought a rash guard. Craig did. He actually paid for it. It seems like.
There you go.
Unless that was his. Who knows?
Whatever.
Who knows? But yeah, so I mean, that was kind of the major happenings. Other than Mikey getting pretty drunk, it seems like got a little liquored up. They gave him an autism test on air.
How'd he do?
They did not complete the test.
Damn,
his ADHD got in the way.
It's got to mean something.
Yeah, whatever. He at least has that.
Inconclusive.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Maybe it's in the after show.
Didn't he call Craig gay? He was like, look, if I have autism, you have gayness.
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said you either become autistic or gay. Is what
I went down one road, you went down the other.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So maybe that's what the Department of Health is about to drop, that jiu-jitsu is the leading cause. Who knows?
No way.
Oh, no.
The Department of Health is doing something?
They're about autism. But apparently there's some information that's supposed to come out this month. Whatever.
RFK.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, geez.
I think the Vegas odds are on that he's going to say it's vaccines or food dyes, probably.
Are there Vegas odds on it?
No.
Damn.
Maybe. Hey, actually, I bet you there are.
You ever heard of Polymarket?
No.
Polymarket's like an online, you can bet on like news, politics.
Well, I bet you they have odds on it. For sure.
I'm looking.
Yeah, pull up these odds.
I will. Should I look up Polymarket autism DHS?
DHS autism cause.
Or is it HHS?
HHS. Department of Health and Human Services.
Yeah, HHS autism. Let's see what the internet says. Autism investigation.
They're saying they have discovered the cause of
I'm
autism.
looking up Vegas odds. Okay. Continue.
Wow, this is we're going quite.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there's that. But
we're doing current events.
We'll go past that. We said we wouldn't, but this is fine.
Okay. Here's what the AI says. It is not possible to place Vegas odds on a government investigation such as the one announced by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy regarding autism. Vegas odds are based on betting markets. I mean, we're betting on the results. Vegas odds are which are not offered on the outcome of government actions or scientific research. You know what, dude? I got to put in Polymarket. I'm typing in Polymarket.
We're not asking for actual research. We're just asking on news.
Yeah, we want to bet.
We just want to bet on the news.
We
want to bet on what they say.
Market odds. Dude, hell yeah.
They got it? They got it?
Well, let me see. No.
Well, while he pulls that up.
Here's what came up. It says HHS. I typed in HHS Autism Investigation Polymarket. And the first thing that comes up is SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried. Reduced sentence because of autism?
Oh.
It's just hilarious.
So we don't have those odds. Sorry, guys.
Damn it, guys. I'm sorry.
Well,
Tulsi, RFK. See, but here's the type of thing you can bet on, by the way. Tulsi, RFK, and Patel to be confirmed according to the Polymarket. Agree. You can bet on if they're going to confirm or not. Politics market. All right, whatever. Continue, man.
But so we'll move on from autism.
For now.
For now. It might come back.
It'll come back. How could you avoid it?
Yeah, so like that was, kind of setting the stage, exclusivity. They squashed their beef. They're cool. Apparently they were
beefing?
Apparently they weren't actually beefing.
Nah, they're not beefing.
Craig's trying to sell CJI. He's talking shit on Mikey to create the thing, but apparently they're friends. Mikey was talking the whole time about like, oh, well, you text me nice all the time, and you go online and you just nuke me. You just nuke me is the so yeah. But speaking of CJI, there's some controversy. It's not like there's just people are
things are happening.
Things are happening. There was some.
Should we set the stage?
Yeah, let's set
the stage. I'll attempt to set the stage. All right. It was last night was the first night of CJI. It's a 2-day event. They had the 8-team quintet for men for a $1 million prize. And I'm going to do my best to recite the teams real fast. Here we had New Wave, Greg's team, Atos and the Europeans.
Greg's team is Team Americas.
Greg's team is Team Americas. Greg Souders from around our parts here, the DC area. There was Australasia and 10th Planet, and then Daisy Fresh and B Team. And then they had the ladies four-person bracket for $100,000. And last night was the first round of all of the men's, like the quarterfinals for all the men's. I think they're doing semis and finals today.
Yes.
Right. And they're doing the finals for the ladies today as well, because there's just the 4 of them. So they did semis last night.
And Craig versus
Chael Sonnen today, because Abel Stevenson bopped out.
His toe hurts.
Whatever.
And alleged collusion from the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's related to current events. But yeah, so they last night was the first round, and for those listening, if you all watch it, you kind of know what happens, but if you're not aware, the quintet format's it's unique. I thought it was interesting to watch. So this would be like my first take on the event. Was I actually found it all pretty.
I liked it.
There was, I think you had mentioned before, like we were talking about, we were gonna kind of discuss on this episode, and there may be some folks out there saying it wasn't very interesting, wasn't very exciting. There weren't as many subs as I think people were hoping for.
I think people were hoping for a lot more subs.
We could talk about that, but these guys are high level, and and by the way, with this rule set, this is what I was gonna get to, which is that it's a unique format. It's very unique. So I think a lot in a pit, by the way, a bigger pit too. So whatever, like the actual map of the like the field they're on is different. The formatting for the whole thing was set up so that the coaches would come out, they would pick their fighters, and in real time, based on results, they would be choosing who to send out. So it's like they're having to make calls based on the circumstances of each match. And the way they would do the matches, the round would be 8 minutes, which you would go to completion, judge's decision, based on, I guess like traditional point scoring / like aggression if there are no subs, but the subs being the main thing. If someone submits, like if New Wave guy submits dude from Greg's team guy goes out, the next person, Greg will make a call. Greg will say, okay, well, that an 88 kilo guy from team A from my opposing team just submitted my guy. Who am I going to get to come in here and beat this guy? And like, how do I want that to go? Do I want that? This is the type of subtleties that I thought were pretty interesting, which is like, do these guys play for dragging a guy out to the end of regulation, subbing him out, knowing that maybe like you might not submit this really high level player, but maybe you can stall him out from having a submission victory, get rid of him. Like once that person's out, if there's no submission, both people go out. The ref will make a decision
using some of the like blockers, and
there's just strategy in it that's it's quite interesting, right? And then you can approach it from a bunch of different ways. Like what I thought was to kind of bring it down to actually what happened, like in that first round between New Wave and Greg's team, Danaher versus Greg. The first two matches I think were no submission, and because it was Wagner round 2 and it was
Wagner versus Dorsey round 2. Round 1 was
the South African bro
Luke Griffin and Pat Downey,
right? And both of those matches had no submission wins. They both later went to ref decision. By round 3, Danaher, it seems like he was like, I'm bringing out the heavy hit. I want to start getting some sub wins now. So he brings out Giancarlo Bodoni, 88 kilo, ADCC gold medalist, like probably one of their best players on the team.
He was 99 kilo. He's the minus 99.
Whatever, big boy, right?
Yeah.
But like, so he brings him out, and
but he was the 88 kilo ADCC. I'm just saying he was in the minus 99 slot.
Whatever, but you get what I'm saying. Like a bigger dude. Like probably one of the best pound for pound all around guys on the mat in the entire event. Well, he comes out, he submits the first opponent, which was Gavin Corbet from our area. Gavin's a 66 kilo for Greg's team. And so Gavin goes out, and then out comes the wild card pick for Greg's team, which was like an Englishman who won or placed at the CJI trials, which I don't know much about CJI trials, but like anyways, Greg picked this guy, and cue the controversy, right? But this is, I guess, kind of my way of explaining like what the rule format, like the kind of the gameplay of all this, which I personally, I wouldn't call it like the most exciting. I mean, the controversy made it kind of exciting, by the way, which I'm going to get to in a second, but I don't know that like exciting is the right word. I don't think it's wrong to say it was kind of exciting. It was very interesting to me. The whole thing is, and thus entertaining, in my opinion.
And I think this first matchup,
dude, that was the first match of the night. Like none of these, like it's okay. We don't really know. This is a new thing.
And I think TBD. I think that first matchup was a really good example of the things we could see, because I don't know if we got this across very well, but they don't know what the other coach they don't know who the other coach is sending out.
Yeah.
If they're both sending people out.
That's right.
The only time that you know who the opponent is going to be is if they won by submission and stayed in.
Or if if there's one guy left. Sometimes you'll know, you're like, everyone's out on team whatever, and this other team has 2 dudes left. Like it's going to be like, it ended up getting to DeAndre and Mika at the end. We knew that was coming based on just the choices.
Yeah, because we knew who was
That's
left.
at the end of the match. Yeah. To your point. But yeah, tons of question marks, which again, like, whatever. It's kind of in the eye of the beholder, the fan, to decide is it's exciting for you. Is it it's very interesting to me. And again, to me, that's entertaining, exciting, whatever. Just a word. Like exciting. What's exciting?
Exciting versus entertainment.
Whatever.
They can be independent of each other.
But at the end of the day, they just want to get eyes. I'm watching it. Well, anyways, so Giancarlo comes out, or Giancarlo stays in because he submits Gavin. Gavin subs out, and then Greg calls in their, I think that guy was 88 kilos, but whatever, like a middle tier size wise dude for Greg's team, who is an English dude who is like a leg locker guard player. To cut to the chase here, he attacks Giancarlo. Did you see this, by the way?
Yes.
So did I.
I watched it.
I have a take on it. Giancarlo is in. Well, okay. So Perriman, I think is his name. Perriman is the Englishman. He's going in on a leg.
Pyramid.
That's him. He's going in on a leg on Giancarlo. Giancarlo's a little casual about it. Doesn't think it's a big deal. You can tell because he's not really like rushing to make something happen. And Perriman's like attacking a heel hook. And I'm sure in Perriman's head, he's like, oh, I'm going for this. This is a real attack. Like to him, it was a real attack. Like, I mean, we've all been in situations like this where, and here's the rub. So Giancarlo responds to it and kind of like moves his hand down on his leg. In the moment, I actually thought it did look like a tap.
I thought so too.
In the moment, because he moved his hand down on his leg, but like the more I looked at it, and when you got clear angles, more than 50% of me, maybe it's 51% of me thinks it wasn't a tap, because the way he put his hand on his leg, kind of like he like it moved down, which does resemble a tap, but then it kind of sat there. It wasn't like a repeated tap motion, But he moved it down, and it did kind of look like a tap, but then he kind of slid his hand down like as though he was going to move his leg off. In other words, he was like moving his hand on the leg to then begin. This is my meta take on it. Granted, I'm open to looking at the analysis over and over and over again. Also, my other take is like, I could see why the refs would be like, nah, man, we're just going to err on the side of you tapped. So I don't begrudge the refs. I think this is one of those wacky things in jiu-jitsu that just kind of happens and you have to deal with it. So turns out it happened twice last night, but
Yeah.
we can get to that in a second. You can queue up the second instance as soon as I wrap up on this one. But so that happens. So Giancarlo is like mystified because everyone stops. And what happens is when he does that, Pearman, who's attacking, interprets that as like you just gave up. And I'm sure Pearman was probably trying to be like conscientious of his opponent to like let go as soon as he thought it was tapped, which I think in tournaments like this in hindsight, if I'm, you know what I mean? It's hindsight.
That's one of the biggest parts that was one of the biggest discussions about it is
Pearman let go.
You
shouldn't let go.
Let go or should you let go?
No, you should keep going until the ref stops you or it's evident that it's a tap. I think Pearman was like in the moment. I believe he fully thought it was a tap because to him, I think he fully thinks he's like, I'm going in on a good leg lock. So as soon as he sees the hand goes down, like just out of respect, maybe because I think Pearman also may be one of the less experienced high level competitors in situations like this. Like it's a bit of an impulse. Like I've done this in matches too, where I've like interpreted taps that I thought were taps and I like, oh, cause I'm like, oh, I want to break this guy's leg. But I think at that level, you do have to hold on to it until it's clear that like, cause it's a job. It's all high risk. These guys are all high level competitors. They're accustomed to the danger of it. But Pearman let go, which like, again, like it's not I don't begrudge the guy. He's just trying to like respect what he thought was a tap.
Yeah, he was trying to respect the tap.
And because of that, and in the moment, everyone was like, and like, dude, I think the first take, everyone was like, yo, man, Giancarlo, you tapped, man. They replayed it, and Giancarlo, of course, is like, what? I didn't tap, walked around, this and that. And as time went on, like the more I looked at, the more I was kind of like, maybe he didn't tap because he did look real casual.
So it depended on the angle too.
Depending on the angle too.
Some of the video angles, I think, to kind of devil's advocate, because like he definitely should have just kept holding on, but it kind of devil's advocate the decision that ended up happening from the side judges. Depending on the angle, it looks because like especially when you run it slow, right? Like it was
True,
can't see here,
when
but
you
like,
run it slow, it does.
Boom, hand comes up, and then it looks like it goes like there's not a slide; it's up.
He's gesturing down towards like his foot, which I personally interpret that as like he's moving to like navigate the situation.
Yeah,
he's not like desperately trying to get out because his leg's about to get broken.
And like from some angles, it looks like he's placing. From some angles, it looks like he's tapping. And I think if there's enough ambiguity, you almost have to err towards the tap from the judge's side, because otherwise you don't want to create enough like leeway for people to fake almost sell that they didn't tap. You're better off erring to the tap because people want to see subs, right? Like,
which is what they did.
Yeah.
And I agree with you that I think that like as far as like high level, I mean it's one of those things like very hindsighty where it's sort of like, okay, like we need to be very like, okay, Craig or whoever's running the event, like come up with extraordinarily clear standards for what mandates a tap rather than not. But yeah, under the circumstances at the moment, I agree. I'm like, I get why the refs did it. I don't begrudge them for what they did. Of course, Giancarlo's like kind of stunned. He's like, I did not tap. And I think the awkward part about all this is like only he really knows. If he was like, I was trying to tap and like he actually kind of let me out and I just kind of played it cool and I got out of it.
Well, yeah, that's the other part.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. He's like, I went to tap and then like the pressure came off,
so I didn't have to fully tap. I kind of got lucky. That's right. That's right.
Hoped the Brazilian tap is what they call it.
Okay, there you go. And after the match, like they interview Giancarlo, and Giancarlo was like, yeah, like everyone here knows I didn't. Did you see that, by the way? He goes, everyone knows I didn't tap, and the crowd goes, boo. And so like you could see his face. He got a little upset, but then like I'd say he stayed kind of cool. Of course, that was not what he wanted to hear. Yeah. But at the end of this moment, they ended up winning the judge's decision. That first round matchup, not to like skip past the rest of it. The rest of it was really entertaining too. Great matchup. Greg's team did really well. Very competitive. I think a lot of people thought they were the underdogs.
Well, they had a lot less of what would be considered like the big names I mean, they're all still. I mean, we know who those guys are, but not everybody knows who they are. Even though like Elijah Dorsey's ADCC winner, like DeAndre's ADCC, you know, like these
World
are
champion,
these are
ADC
legit.
No, they're
dudes,
studs. They're
but
studs, man.
They're not as big of names because
They showed out really well.
They're not at B Team or New Wave or like they're just not the same.
They don't get as much notoriety,
Yeah.
but point taken. I think skill wise, they showed that they were capable of hanging with probably the favorite of the entire tournament, in my opinion.
They were the number 1 seed.
They were the number 1 seed, right? And they were the 8th seed, I think.
Yes.
Greg's team. So good job, Greg. Good job, team DC-ish area Americas or whatever. Good job, boys. But yeah, great match or great first round. Match.
Yeah, it was a match.
Sure, it was matches within the match.
Matchup.
Sure, we'll call it that.
Whatever.
People know what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'll come back to the. Bo Doney kind of changed the subject to like, yeah, you know what? Look, we won. We're gonna figure out our shit for tomorrow. We're gonna get in which it's just right because I think that first round was very much like discovery for like including everyone who came afterwards.
Yeah, well, they all just watched.
They watched the
blueprint
and a lot of like, and the good thing about that first round for everyone else is like, it was a lot of weird contingencies, a lot of shit that you could like take a second and be like, oh damn, like, so this is how this could play out. So maybe we need to rethink some stuff, which again, taking a step back, this whole question of excitement, again, some of this isn't exciting and it's mentally stimulating. Like it's interesting to think about that now, maybe because I have like coaching experience and you have coaching experience. You haven't even shared if you thought it was interesting.
I thought it was interesting.
There you go.
There you go.
But I find that whole like figuring out what to do from like multiple different angles, competitor angle, coach angle, and maybe even Craig's angle, the guy running the event, fascinating to me, man. Because the whole thing is like it's uncharted territories.
Well, and what do you also have like so they get a second before
they get 1 minute. I believe,
like once they come in. Well, I'm saying once the fighters are in. So once the guys enter. They don't immediately start. They come in, they're with their coach for a second. They actually get a second to discuss strategy, right? Like there's a moment like, okay, specifically was with this one because you had a lot more even weight matchups. But when the younger Corbet came out and then he has Bodoni on the other side, there's a second there. It's like, hey dude,
what are we going to do?
This is what we need to do. Like you're attacking. Look, he went out and he was attacking.
He did
legs.
attack.
He did
Bodoni
a really
right
good
away.
job too. He actually made him. He made him pause. He
made
it was really cool.
Jean-Claude had to defend that leg lock. Yeah.
But it's like, okay, maybe we want to try to take this. You just need to survive, do enough to look offensive. Like, and that seems like what he was trying to do, right? Like go out there, get some attacks going, and let's just get him eliminated. Because then guess what? Now we're up a big guy and they're down to their 2 small guys.
That's right.
Right. So there's a lot of and they didn't know that it was going to be that matchup either. Right. So that's another interesting fact is you have however many seconds to decide what your game plan is for this. Do we try to take out Goliath and leave in David, or are we just trying to, hey, let's try to get on the judges' scorecards. Let's try to make it look good and let's win so that we can get our next 2 guys in here. Right.
Right.
So it creates a very cool, I like this format. I approve of this format.
I'm entertained.
I think it's very cool, especially like I get it. If you just people just want to see submissions. They want to see the blood, whatever, right? They want their pound of flesh, but there's something really cool about strategy. So, whatever. I know you guys want to see a submission every 2 minutes, but there's something cool with this rule set. However, I do think that there could be slightly more urgency created. And I think the way they could do that is, I think if they revealed how the round was scored when they send the people out, which I know the whole point is it doesn't matter unless everyone's eliminated, right? But I think that you could create urgency in the next round that comes in that like, hey, like you can still draw out, but I need to draw out and also win.
Well,
right?
It's like mid-game, it's like, hey, we're behind on the scorecard. We got to press.
I think because that was the beautiful thing about
who's number one does that, where who's number one is like judges favor blue, and they do it based on like chunks of time.
They did it in the individual tournament for the 3 rounds, right? That's what made some of those matches more exciting was a guy knew in round 3 that he was down 2 rounds, right? Now there's urgency. So like I think there would, taking something they already did with the open scoring could create a little more, but I mean, I still think that the format's really good.
Yeah.
I think there just could be with the feedback that people are already giving after one night, there could be some room. There is always room for improvement. Sure. I think that is one thing that could create a little more urgency, which it may lead to more submissions, but at least might lead to slightly more activity. But it is what it is. The heavyweight, there's just a lot of open stuff for some not exciting matchups, just because you have two really good dudes that their games, their styles clash in a way that doesn't create exciting stuff, right? Like exciting jujitsu necessarily, because they kind of cancel out in a way. Like there's always going to be the opportunity for that when you have matchups like this. So, but we also got a matchup we wanted, DeAndre versus Mika. So, you have the potential for really good matchups. You have the potential for not as exciting matchups. But you also never know, because you might get a guy that you're not familiar with that comes in and all of a sudden these guys have never seen each other before. And now everyone's trying to figure it out in real time, so you can get some really interesting stuff there too. So, I mean, that's kind of my take from that first one specifically. But on the Brazilian taps, the controversy surrounding the next one was actually in 10th Planet versus Europe.
No, Australasia.
Was it Australasia?
Yeah, Europe went against Atos.
Europe was Atos. It was Australasia versus 10th Planet. Gio was put into a leg lock. Guy went belly down on it, looked like a ankle lock, foot lock. And Gio posts out and brings the hand back. And I think I didn't see a good angle on it. I just saw like the zoomed out shot, like the pit side camera. But it looks like he gets one and then retracts and then comes back. Maybe, I don't know, but
twofer.
Like separate, it was here, right?
Okay.
So he like taps single posts and like puts the hand back down or something. But the ref the ref called that one.
Oh.
And he went over and asked for the review afterwards. He's like, dude, I didn't tap. But it's another one where I think they're just trying to, I think they're trying to save these dudes' limbs. The ref's trying to do his job and keep, their job is to protect the athlete in a way. But you have to, if you're those guys, and now the precedent's been set in the prior one, right? The precedent set that a panic tap is a tap, basically.
Don't be fucking around with the taps,
right?
You either tap or you don't.
Yeah. So I think that one is probably because of the precedent set by the prior one, because, again, he actually had a little strain in his face too, unlike Bodoni.
Interesting.
And so I think it was in the rotation is when it occurs. But he had more, he sold the I'm tapping a little bit more than Bodoni did.
Got it.
And so I think that probably didn't play in his favor, because he had more reaction to it. If he just went like this and was stone faced and he tapped and went stone faced, it probably would have been less of a thing. But yeah,
and the ref jumped in.
The ref stopped it.
Whereas in the Perriman one, the ref didn't stop it. Perriman just stopped and was like, "Yeah, I did it." He like reacted.
Yeah, he was like, "No, you tapped."
This was different, right? Which it's much different.
And so it's much different. But I think that once that precedent was set in the Perriman Bodoni match, that they have to. They're going to intervene.
That's
now the rule, right?
Yeah.
Like that has been put into the rule set at this point, that you tap. Like any sort of thing that looks like a tap, and this seems like, especially with leg stuff,
going to be treated as a tap.
They're going to take it as a tap if you in any way. So, I think that's, and we'll see tonight if it carries on. If it happens again, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe this is just the precedent they're setting, that like, hey, anything that looks like a tap is a tap now. Which
fine.
I think that's fine.
Just make a decision and stick with it.
Yeah,
and,
as
like,
long
the
as
guys
they're
will
consistent,
adapt,
right?
As long as they're consistent.
They were consistent with it. So last night. So I think
Big John's the head of the ship. He probably is like fucking knows what he's doing when it comes to like getting
he's the dude when it comes
line.
to he's the dude.
He's the OG. He's literally the original.
He created the MMA rules.
Yeah, he did.
So he invented them because he was tired of picking up people's teeth and shit off the floor.
Speaking of which,
Wagner's
tooth came out and is I wonder if Wagner's going to be toothless tonight.
Oh, he's still. Yeah, it looked like he was trying to put it back in. Well, Did you see that on the side?
Armacan told me you could do that.
Oh,
he said he would know. He would know. He said if your tooth comes out, like there's like a window of opportunity where if you can press it back in there, like apparently the nerve. Allegedly, I'm not a doctor, people, but I have heard this. He's
a doctor of dental science.
Well,
Mr. Armacan
true. I have been told, totally capable of getting this wrong, that you can press it back in there, and the sooner you do, like the nerves are like the fresher from like the break, or whatever, like that you try to redeploy it, like the more
they can,
the more apt they are to regrow and like reaccept the tooth back in.
It looked like he was trying to put it back in afterwards.
He picked it up and threw it. I think he's like, "Fucking get this out of the room."
I like their little quip was that he gave it that Danaher has it in a glass of milk on the side.
Very funny. Yeah, that happened. But I wonder what he's going to do tonight. I mean, is he going to be toothless tonight? Does he wear a mouthpiece? He should wear a mouthpiece.
He should wear a mouthpiece.
He's going to need to wear a mouthpiece, but.
Yeah. Actually, everyone, you should wear a mouthpiece.
I wear one every practice. Yeah.
You can get them made by Dr. Armacan, by the way. I've heard.
Yeah. You just get one and throw it in. But yeah. So tonight it's going to be Atos, New Wave, B Team,
Australasia. I still think that our pick of the dark horse of Australasia is.
They could be.
I still feel very good about it.
So they got B Team, I think, and then it's going to be Atos and New Wave, which is a controversy over there as well. Where they have
Atos guys on New Wave, don't they?
No. Mika is not Atos.
No, I have it backwards.
No, that's okay.
Is he AOJ?
No,
he's trains.
Mika was his dad Melky kind of promoted him, and he had a stint with Fight Sports.
Okay.
I don't believe he's still with Fight Sports, but he was kind of like associated with it. Now Wagner's Fight Sports as well. I mean, Wagner has his own thing, but like they're like from like the Cyborg, Wagner is teamed up with Cyborg, and Mika had I want to say a year or two where he was under that umbrella. I think Mika, I'm not sure where Mika is at these days, but his father Melky, like he's never been an Atos guy. It's possible he's trained with him.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, I know there's some controversy about, like, Gordon was sounding off on this about how he's like, everyone, like, they stacked literally everything against the New Wave guys and gave B Team the easiest possible path. That's his narrative.
They got the number 1 seed against the number 8 seed. Like,
true, but I think he's saying that, like, with Atos and New Wave being on the same side of the bracket, because they all have, like, they should have been probably, I think his case is like, that's a 1 and 2 seed, spread them out. Like, don't put like the most difficult guys on one side, juxtaposed against allegedly giving B Team the best possible path to the finals.
I think they're trying. Maybe they're trying to.
I think it's. I don't know that that's valid. I mean, whatever, dude. It's like these guys are all going to face each other regardless.
Yeah.
Like, so be it.
What's it matter?
Just interesting take.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just someone's. I think he just was like looking for an opening to sling some shit.
He must have thrown shit at
Craig Jones Invitational. So sling away, dog.
It's probably true. Did you see, just building on his controversies, did you see Nikki being unwilling to say whether or not his mom likes Craig Jones?
What? No. Nikki who? Nikki Ryan?
Nikki Ryan.
Talking about his mom being mad at Craig?
Because they're on opposites. He's like talking about whether or not his mom is mad at Craig or not, basically. And he was like, I am not going to bring my mom into this.
So she's mad at Craig for what? Like,
apparently not. I don't know. Maybe he's not, but they were trying to get him to talk.
They may or may not be mad at.
Trying to put his mom in the middle of him and of B Team and Gordon Ryan. You know, someone's trying to create controversy there.
Weird, dude.
Yeah, weird. But, whatever.
Like on one side.
He wouldn't say anything, so nothing happened. But
fair enough.
I just thought it was an interesting.
Yeah, that's probably a no comment thing.
Yeah.
You could bring moms into this, leave moms out of this. But like
leave those moms alone.
On one side, she has one kid who was at least in business and a teammate with Craig for a while, B Team, Nikki Ryan. On the other end, her other son, Gordon, who's like allegedly internet mortal enemies. They might actually like each other. They might just be doing all this like hatred shit just for the internet. Who knows?
It's like the Iron Sheik and what's his face when they're just driving to match
they're buddies,
towns together. But
who knows? But
we find out later that they've just been friends this whole time.
Yeah, it could be. And like, wouldn't that be something? But anyways, yeah, who the fuck knows / cares?
Maybe that's the secret that drops at the end, the twist that drops at the end of
We're
CJI.
all friends. We're all
is that as Gordon comes out and just like cheers for Craig, gives him a big hug.
Yeah, I don't see
when
that
he
happening.
retires, you know.
Yeah, maybe when he retires, gets him a watch.
Yeah, it gives him a knife.
A
That's what they
retirement
do.
gift? Oh,
they give
okay.
them knives. That's what they
Knives.
do at Kingsway and Donner's stuff,
There you
right?
go.
Here's your black belt knife, Craig.
Do you want to make a prediction? Who do you think's going to win? After watching day one, what do you think? I did not watch the B team match because it was too goddamn late. This is my other thing, dude. Fix this time.
They got against, which Daisy Fresh is solid. It was a 1-0 submission victor. Like that was
who won? Who got the sub rather?
Nikki Rod against Brandon Reed. Rear naked choke.
Got it. That was the only sub. Everyone else went decisions.
Everyone else went decision.
And B team won the decision.
B team won.
Well, I guess they won on the sub.
Won by
sub.
Yeah, they had. I think they ended up having someone left or what, whatever.
Got it.
But so B team won on sub, but like dude, I think Australasia is
still the dark horse candidate.
I like him. I like their team makeup is solid. They not, it's another one that's not like the biggest of names, but like I think they have the best team. I still think they have the best team makeup. I mean, we talked about it before, but
dark horse, man. They're the dark horse for me on that side.
I think they have the most opportunity for them to win their matchups, like their individual matchups within the match. I think that they have a better makeup for creating that than the other teams do.
Got it.
Which is exciting. Like, I think that just creates exciting. They were also one of the better, more exciting matchups. I thought the first one was great, but I think they also had a really good matchup against, going in 10th Planet knows how to do quintets.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of team matches like this or team tournaments. Mm-hmm. So, they went out there and they were the underdog. They won. Like, it was pretty cool. They're also the only national team to win, which I guess there are only 3, but so yeah, I think it creates. I think they're still my dark horse pick. I still like them for the whole thing. Obviously, will it maybe end up being New Wave versus B Team because that's how things
could end up shaking.
Maybe that's the way things are written, but but I think Australasia is a really good opportunity. So
cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd say I think New Wave is still kind of my favorite. I think they're still the number 1 seed. I say favorite meaning like I don't, whatever you know what I'm saying.
They're your favorite to win.
They're their favorite to win. I think Australasia is the wild card pick for me too. Yeah, the last 4 teams will be interesting. It'll be they're all like very interesting matchups. I mean, the Atos versus New Wave is nothing new. They've all been battling each other for years, but that'll be cool to see.
It's also way more exciting to see Australasia in the final than matchups we've seen, the head-to-heads that we usually see as well.
Yeah, no, the B team stack versus the Australasian stack will be cool. They're just good matchups either way. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
Hell yeah. And then we have Helena versus Sarah Galvao,
right, for
the $100,000 final,
the women's championship, finals or whatever. Cool.
So that's pretty cool. That'll be that's a fun matchup. I think that it would have been.
That's an Atos versus New Wave right there too.
Yeah. Because Helena had a Della, which was the one that was one that people wanted to see, and I wonder if that's why they did it first.
Okay.
Just like to do it,
serve the fans up something they want to see.
I think that was the favorite for the final before they announced the bracket, which it's 4 people. There's only so many ways you can build that bracket, so whatever. But I think that was one that people wanted to see. But I think that's a good. But Sarah Galvao and Helena Cravar is it's a good matchup too. That's going to be exciting. Someone walks home with $100,000. That's a big deal. New Wave versus Atos. It's all over tomorrow. It's all over it. And then Kale versus
Craig.
Chael Sonnen. Will he remain undefeated? Yes, because Chael Sonnen can't be defeated. But will he lose to Craig Jones? It's a
Time will
rematch.
tell.
This is an
Time will
ADCC
tell.
matchup, right? This is a rematch.
I
they
think
had
Craig
one
competed in ADCC against him. He competed them in at the one that there's the Pacific Northwest had a league for a while that they fought in the cage.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
This is a rematch.
I think Craig's beat him twice.
Yeah. So it's fun and
yeah, chill rules.
Chill's cool, dude. It's gonna be
They better put them on the mic. They better put them both on the mic.
I hope they let them talk before.
You don't get a guy like you don't attach a dude like Chael and not let him speak.
I'm glad that I have.
Let's see, there's a poly market on that.
Oh, will Chael Sonnen speak
He
before?
better speak.
I bet he talks no matter what. He probably calls out Gable Steveson too. Just watch him. Watch him talk shit. Just the whole time. It's just a roast of Gable Steveson.
Anderson Silva, you suck. Gable Steveson, you suck.
He probably talks about not having lost still afterwards. He's undefeated. That's what he says, right?
Awesome.
But yeah, so I mean, it's exciting. There's a lot of cool and exciting stuff that will happen tonight.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I mean, but for the most part, I think, should there be like CGI 3?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Why not?
Well, let's finish tonight. Let's see.
But like,
yeah, fuck yeah.
These are all the questions that come up because of it. Like, is it worth doing CGI 3? I think so. I mean, I think it's for a good cause. I think that just because a few of you are bummed out and butthurt over it not getting 35 submissions last night.
There might be 35 submissions tonight.
My math was pretty close. 40 submissions.
Right.
But just because you didn't get all of those submissions, like, dude, it's a sport. This is what happens. It's just how it goes.
Are all really good.
People are trying to win. They're not like, the complaint shouldn't be, oh, they're all trying to win too much. Yeah, they have the chance to each get $200,000.
Crazy thing.
It's a lot of fucking money, dude. I know it's less than $1 million, but
for
it's
the
still a lot of money.
too. Like, I mean, the quintet format, this is different than what the UFC is doing.
Yeah.
So like, and it's cool. It's interesting. So like, I think
maybe there could be a UFC team.
Oh shit.
Oh, what?
That would be kind of nice.
You could bring a team from
maybe
each
the UFC
promotion.
steals this too, and they're like, nah, we'll just do one of those two.
What if there's UFC versus who's number one versus ONE FC?
I would like that. That
would be a pretty cool
CGI.
We can throw some more in.
Who's number one?
Just throw them all into the CGI.
PGF.
Yeah.
And what am I missing? UFC.
Polaris.
Polaris got purchased by UFC.
Okay. So we won't do that one.
PJF.
It's already in the other
ADCC.
team.
Maybe IBJF.
Well, we could do an IBJJF team. Why not?
IBJF
Let's just get all the teams.
Just get all the team. Get all the brands.
Let's battle the federations against each other.
Federations. That's kind of sick, dude.
That's a pretty. You know what? Let's do a Fighters Drinking Coffee Invitational. We need a rich dude, so I need one rich guy.
Hit up Moneyberg.
Oh, let's hit up Money. It's not Moneyberg. It's not his real name.
Whatever.
We know about. We're gonna talk to Dale by his real name.
Whatever.
Because that's how you do business.
You can call him his nickname. Whatever.
But see, we'll get Moneyberg money, and we'll start the Fighters Drinking Coffee Invitational. Battle the federations.
Okay.
We'll do it one time, and we'll pay people.
I mean, if Moneyberg's paying, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Fighters Drinking Coffee. We like to use other people's money to pay for things. It's great.
Dude, of course.
It's the best way. That is Fighters Drinking Coffee approved behavior. But yeah, so
yeah.
So we think there should be CGI 3. I think that there's ways they can improve on this quintet format, but I think that it's a solid base. I think they've created a good blueprint.
Yep.
I mean, would you agree with that?
Definitely.
Sick. Maybe our prediction came true. It won't matter by the time this comes out, but we're predicting that it's our dark horse pick is still Australasia. We're sticking to it. But the favorite is obviously New Wave right now. But I'd like to stick to the dark horse pick. I think that's fun. But yeah, shout out to everybody while we're on current events. Everybody from Masters Worlds, because that also just happened. Lots of guys bringing home hardware. A student of mine, or a training partner of mine, because kind of student, but training partner of mine, Big John, went out there, won double gold.
Hell yeah.
Who else do we know that we knew some other?
Mac got third in his division. But yeah, that's
the big ones.
That's
right?
a shout out for me.
So yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. Some people from High Noon. I think Maya won gold at Jiu-Jitsu Con.
She did.
So this
I think
people
Jiu-Jitsu Con, I forgot about Jiu-Jitsu.
people going out there getting hardware, bringing it home.
That's it.
It's exciting. So lots of big stuff going on this weekend. So that was good to do, and we will be back with you guys here soon. This was Fighters Drinking Coffee, and as always, like, follow, subscribe, hit those reviews, drop some comments where you're listening, guys. Interact with us on socials. We are happy to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you guys for getting back, reaching out about the Dimitri Chrysos episode. It was fun to see how everyone felt about Copa, Virginia. And Dimitri, he's a great dude. We enjoyed having him. We're excited to have him back for Fighters Drinking Whiskey.
Damn.
We're going to do that. You're signed up for that now, Dimitri, whether you like it or not. People want it. We give the people what they want here at Fighters Drinking Coffee. But drop those reviews, drop those comments. Follow us at Fighters Drinking Coffee on Instagram. You can find Scott
at Scott Dance BJJ
on Instagram, myself at Get Sudsy. And so thank you guys for listening. This was Fighters Drinking Coffee. Bye.